Moving on to the biggest loser of the year. David, could you kick it off, please?
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, obviously it's Ethereum.
Yeah.
Ethereum got its
Okay, yeah.
ass kicked this whole year. I mean,
Yeah.
they
That was on my list as well.
yeah,
So let's talk
Ethereum,
about it.
and I would lump everything Ethereum related in this, like L2s, Ethereum maxis, Ethereum centric podcasts. Thankless. I mean, all of it is just absolute L across the board. My bags
Yeah.
L. I mean, just
Yeah.
it's been a
The
disaster. But
year was pretty much just a long grind of traders capitulating on ETH.
yeah,
And the
into
ETH
Solana.
BTC ratio just kept going lower and lower and lower and lower. Welcome back to Bitcoin.com's Token Narratives, where we discuss the biggest stories shaping the Bitcoin and cryptoverse. My name is Graham Stone, and I'm repping the hype function at Bitcoin.com, and I'm here primarily to offer mid-curve takes. I'm joined by news and research savant David Sensel and Bitcoin.com Supreme Commander Corbin Fraser. Happy holidays, everyone. We are in the thick of it.
Merry Christmas, yeah.
That's right. Merry Christmas. Happy
Have you guys
Hanukkah.
noticed that Merry Christmas has been like a little bit more, I don't know, welcome? Do you know what I mean?
Christmas is back.
Christmas is back, baby. We can say Christmas. Happy holidays. Get rid of that crap. I think it's dead.
Merry Christmas. Today we will reflect upon 2024 by giving our top picks on a range of topics like the biggest winners, biggest losers, best pivot, best meme, and so on. So we've got a lot of good topics here. Let's get right into it. Biggest winner of 2024. Corbin, could you kick it off, please? Who's your biggest winner?
I mean, biggest winner
2024?
2024 has got to be Bitcoin. It's kind of a mid curve normie take, but everything else, I mean, there's been things that grew, there's been things that outperformed it for sure, but I think the Bitcoin bull posting, the resurgence of, I don't know, like a bit of a developer community has kind of returned to Bitcoin to try to make it not so boomery. So that's been cool to watch. I think too, just like this, like Bitcoin's been exploding beyond just Bitcoin layer 1. So, Ethereum and all of DeFi have now unlocked, there's like, I don't know, man, there's like 6 different flavors of like wrapped BTC now. And all of that has kind of, I would say, unlocked a ton of this Bitcoin capital on chain for like on chain DEXs and AMMs, and then all the fun degenerate stuff of like looping DeFi protocols and DeFi Lego so that you can actually, benefit from the upside of BTC. Especially when ETH has just been such a big stinker, it's kind of nice to have BTC on the EVM tech in all its different forms, whether that's like BTCB on Avalanche or, it's WBTC or it's TBTC by Threshold, which of course, we've got, we should give a little shout out to the Threshold team and TBTC. But there's like a few other ones that have come out recently too. There's DLC BTC, which I think just rebranded to IBTC or something like that. And then there's Solve BTC, which I was just checking out. There's I don't know, a few other ones that I've been just like floating around. So I think BTC is the winner, whether that's by price, by adoption, by market share, by network effect. It's still the king. Nobody can beat the king right now. So maybe someday in the future, but this cycle BTC is still gonna be the big holder of the W, I think.
Yeah, I would just add 2 things to that. One is that it seems like the narrative, even amongst the competitors to Bitcoin, is that they're not even trying to compete anymore. Like Bitcoin has won the store of value or the moneyness crypto. Like you hear people in the ETH community saying, yeah, we're not going to even try that right now. So that's one. And the other obviously is the Bitcoin ETF, which shattered records. I think it got 7 times the inflows of the previous record ETF in the first year. David?
I'm gonna go a different way and say that, I mean, all that is true, but I think Bitcoin was already kind of the winner already before all this. It didn't, there was no one really uh, kind of looking to displace it at all. So it's just, more winning for it. To me, the biggest winner would be Solana, I think. Solana really kind of solidified itself as kind of in the realm of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I would say, right? Before maybe the end of 2023, it was always just Bitcoin and Ethereum. That was, and then everything else, right? And it's been that way for a long time. And now it's kind of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And I think everyone kind of has their mental model adjusted to that world. So I think Solana, in terms of like net gain, was the biggest winner. And then obviously the rise of this kind of like perpetual meme coin craze. A lot of that has to be accredited or condemned to Solana. And I saw a couple posts. I don't know if I've added them here, but some data analytics sites kind of compiled the total transaction volume for the year. It's a little premature, but basically it's done. And Solana had a majority of the transactions that happened versus Ethereum, and I think even EVM L2 Ethereum L2 connection. So, yep, I'm gonna go with Solana.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. I've got a few things on here, but
were you Bitcoin, Graham? Was
no,
your call?
I mean, I've got like 4 items depending on what you guys are going to say. So, so all right, I guess I agree with you. Yeah, Solana. Obviously, Pump Fund was one of my winners. $342 million in fees since launching on March 1st. Over 100,000 daily active wallets, 5.1 million tokens launched. So Pump.Fun, obviously big winner. But all right, one thing that we didn't mention is a huge winner, I think, Tether. All right, still dominates stablecoins with something like 70% of the stablecoin market share. They got $140 billion market cap, like assets, tethers out there, $140 billion worth of tethers. They printed $10 billion in profits for the year, and they're killing it. They've got like 3 people working there, I think. So that's $3 billion per person. And so yeah, they started, as we note, as Corbin noted in the weekly news recap, which is coming out here soon. They've been investing in Rumble, biotech, Bitcoin mining. They're becoming a huge player. So Tether definitely a big winner.
Also, yeah, I mean, huge in terms of again, to double down, they have cleared any kind of criminal or any kind of criminal or kind of
the FUD is gone.
The FUD is gone completely. Even their like biggest critics have said like, yep, it might have started off shady and had a lot of problems, but there's pretty much no doubt now that it's in the clear and it's now a legitimate business. And so you'd imagine that they'll thrive even more now, right? Like going forward,
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the biggest loser of the year. David, could you kick it off, please?
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, obviously it's Ethereum.
Yeah.
Ethereum got Ethereum got its
Okay, yeah.
ass kicked this whole year. I mean,
Yeah,
they
that was on my list as well.
yeah,
So let's talk
Ethereum,
about it.
and I would lump everything Ethereum related in this, like L2s, Ethereum maxis, Ethereum centric podcasts. Ridiculous. I mean, all of it is just absolute L across the board. My bags
Yeah,
L. I mean, just
yeah.
it's been a
The
disaster. But
year was pretty much just a long grind of traders capitulating on ETH.
yeah,
And
into
the ETH
Solana.
BTC ratio just kept going lower and lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
And then
So I mean,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, other notable things you had at DevCon in Thailand, the Beam Chain speech from
Justin
who
Drake.
was it? Yeah, Justin Drake, widely derided as delusional, like, oh, we're going to be shipping this thing in 2065 or
It was only
2030, I think.
2029, Graham. Okay.
I don't understand why they're so against bull posting. Like, what's the logic there for the ETH maxis to just be so academic about what this is instead of leaning into some of the fun parts of speculation and degeneracy? Like there is this like holier than thou vibe that comes from parts of the Ethereum community that does make me a little stabby and make me want to hit the sell button.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
Vitalik,
I love Ethereum. So
yeah.
just to put that out there, this comes from a place of love.
Yeah, I still have long-term hope for Ethereum, but yeah, 2024 was probably its worst year ever. And
I'm still holding hope for ETH. I haven't sold my ETH position.
Oh man.
But I have a different take on the biggest loser. I think the ETH one,
Fair.
that's an obvious one, But I think at least in the last month or two, maybe it's actually probably in the last 6 months, I'd say one of the other biggest losers has been Polygon. So Polygon has kind of gone through, like, just to single them out specifically, they've now rebranded how many times? So they were Matic, right? Then they were Polygon Matic. Then they were Polygon Pol. Then there was Polygon Proof of Stake, and then there was the ZK Polygon, which still exists, and they both exist, but it's incredibly confusing. And there's like this, I don't know, fragmentation of Polygon mind space. And it seems like even the Polygon organization or foundation or whatever they are doesn't know what to focus on. And they're not sure whether to push the new ZK EVM or the POS one. And then everyone had to kind of figure out Polygon POS versus Polygon ZK EVM. And then I think just recently they issued a new version of Polygon. Is that correct? Maybe you guys have seen that, with some new tokenomics. And then recently there was, just I guess like some maybe less than ideal discussions going on related to like rehypothecating some of the bridge funds, which fortunately got voted down, which was great to see. So I think there's like still like a lot of interesting, smart people in Polygon, but it just seems like there's a lot of confusion because they're doing so much, and it also just has resulted in like pretty unhype vibes. You look at Polygon versus like even something like Avalanche. Avalanche has kind of felt a little bit more bullish in the recent few months with their gaming side of stuff, with like actual I can't remember the name of this thing, that video game with the shooting and the robot
Yeah, I
legs.
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Fortnite.
The hell was that? No, it's like a Fortnite-ish clone.
But they had that, and then they had the arena, and then they've had like a few other interesting things with Avalanche going on, and I just kind of see that like Polygon hasn't really kept up with some of the hype side of stuff, and maybe this is, I don't know, people just kind of falling apart under pressure. But if there was ever a time to kind of shine with like a low fee EVM that's been around for a while, you'd think Polygon would be kind of first to move. But it's very confusing. Paul X Matic, like you present any of this stuff to like to normies. They're gonna go, what is going on with all these different names and tickers, and what am I buying? Which one am I buying? Who am I supposed to listen to?
Yeah.
Which person in Polygon can the user talk to say, hey, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
So
that's a good pick. I
yeah.
will note that the price is down on the year. We started off at like almost $1 per Matic or Paul, and now we're at 50 cents.
Yeah,
So
I was bullish on Polygon last cycle, and I made some bank on that one. I don't know. It would take a different vibe shift, I think, from them to clean up some of their fragmentation, I think, and then I don't know, try to jump on some of the new narratives. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just to add some detail to this too, though, is like definitely I think the biggest winner in EVM space is base, right?
for sure.
And I'm sure a lot of the issues that Polygon is having is maybe trying to figure out how it's going to kind of live in a world with base, which has just gobbled up transaction volume, TVL, mind share for L2s, Ethereum L2s. So, yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next topic. Biggest surprise. I'm going to go first this time, and my choice is GOAT and the AI agent KOL meta. So I imagined that AI agents would be doing more practical things, I guess, like trading for us, like building your P&L, doing research. I thought that's how agents would be coming into crypto to start off. But the fact that the product market fit so far seems to just be like influencers for meme coins. I found that pretty surprising. It's interesting, and I should say it's exciting as well. Like because I didn't have that on my bingo card, and I'm really excited about what AI agents are up to for the year ahead, and the possibilities are endless. Like they came out as KOLs, like who would have thought? And the possibilities are extremely wide for the next year, so that's exciting. Corbin, biggest surprise?
Yeah, I had on my list Fart.
Me too.
So Fart was like, man, a goat was cool. Goat was real cool. I did great with goat. I thought goat was the trippiest, most hilarious thing to come out of crypto in a while. But I think the fact that goat turned into or produced some derivatives with I think there was Sydney, there was a few others, but Fartcoin was the one that seems to be like just kicking ass. And I think it's because it's just so ridiculous. It gives me early Pepe vibes. It gives me early Doge vibes. When you think about like what stupid memes are probably going to exist 10 years from now, Doge is probably still going to be there. Pepe is probably still going to be there. I'm willing to bet Fartcoin is going to be still there too. Like, I just think it's just, you can't get rid of it. It's so ridiculous. It's perfect. And the jokes, the funniness. It's chef's kiss. Yeah, most surprising thing that I think came out of it, and the fact that it's not just like a meme coin that was just like, this is farts. It was like, no, this is AI meta farts. Okay, it's much more sophisticated. This is stuff that it's a little bit. It's a highbrow fart. Okay.
I
Nice.
don't know this to be true, but I imagine also that the distribution of the coin was probably really fair because it was like everybody, it was surprised everybody. So there was no like insider whales, who kind of helped pump this out. And so that you see that with like Pepe, for example, and a couple other big meme coins that have come off, is the distribution was really, really, really fair.
Yeah.
So yeah. I also had that, but so you guys both covered the one that I wrote. So I thought of this one, which I actually now think is probably the biggest surprise of the year, which was the Ethereum ETF. That and do apparently, like all the reporting that came afterwards, is it wasn't supposed to happen. It was not supposed to happen. everyone was surprised, and even in the SEC, they were all surprised. So nobody thought this was supposed to happen. This is Biden's Hail Mary, right? That's the reporting. Is Biden was like, oh crap, I'm losing, and I'm going to be replaced, which he did. And so he was like, well, we're doing really badly with this group of people who have a lot of money. Let's let's just do a 180 and change our stance. Phone call to the SEC, let this go through. Nobody knew what was going to happen. The bad thing is it didn't matter. Ethereum had a great tailwind, and they just farted it all out the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a good pick. All right. Moving on to the next topic, biggest flash in the pan. Corbin, you're first.
I'm going to go with something a little bit more obscure, but it got me excited earlier in the year. Do you guys remember ERC 404?
No.
All right. Well, it was talked about briefly for like a week or two as kind of a cooler version of fungible tokens. It was like, you got the ERC 721s and 1155s for NFTs. Then you got the ERC 20s. And okay, I'm going to read you the description of how the ERC 404 token standard works. So the basic design of the ERC 404 token standard includes an ERC 20 token and an ERC 721 token that are bonded to each other, where the ERC 20 represents the ERC 721 token and vice versa. While both standards are isolated, they intercept at the point of transaction. For instance, an ERC 404 token mints an ERC 721 token, and an ERC 20 token is bonded to the NFT. So I believe the idea here was that there was sort of an attempt at like turning an NFT into an ERC 20. I think there was like, this was sort of a save the NFT idea of like, can we keep NFTs alive and tokenize them? And can the tokenization of ERC 20s also support an NFT project? And it turns out nobody gave a shit. They just wanted meme coins. So yeah, it was kind of like this interesting idea from a technical standpoint, but then nothing, like there was a few projects that launched on it. There was some ERC 404 tokens included Pandora, Defrogs, Ether Rock 404, which was, you guys might remember the NFT Rock. They turned them into Rock tokens. Yeah. So it didn't really turn into like a thing. It's an interesting idea, but it just didn't really, they were like semi-fungible. They could be traded on exchanges as well as NFT marketplaces. They could be like fractionalized, but it was all kind of like an interesting theoretical, but didn't amount to diddly. Maybe at some point when the meme cycle and the NFT cycle, I don't know, maybe at some point we run out of things to do with memes and NFTs, that maybe this comes back to life in the future. But it seemed like kind of a flash in the pan for me.
Yeah, interesting. I've never even heard of that. So thanks for explaining. David, what do you got? Biggest flash in the pan, 2024.
I mean, I want to preface this with saying that like flash in the pan in crypto, I mean, there's just like so many. But yeah, it's the biggest one and a big pan of big flashes. I have two picks, so I'll give you one, and then I'll let you go and see if it does it. But I would say, like, for me, it was SocialFi, right? Like, I thought that was like a heralded thing, and FriendTech, which came out last year, really looked like it was going to go places, and then it went under this year, right? So they had all this goodwill. They were connected with like crypto Twitter. They had not all of them, but like basically every big KOL, including like Kobe, for example, on the platform. And then they just kind of did nothing, right? And the project shuttered this year. So that was a huge disappointment, right? And SocialFi in general just hasn't really materialized yet, you know?
Yeah, well, Farcaster seems to be chugging along. It's not growing fast, but there seems to be a core group of people who use Farcaster, and there do seem to be interesting applications there. But yeah, totally agree. friend
Well,
tech disappeared.
I'm on Farcaster, and so, but it is even like, you know, certain groups that I was on early, they're like, join Farcaster and blah 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 blah. And man, those communities have just bled out, right? And I
Yeah.
remember they had like thousands and thousands of users, and then I'll go on Farcaster, and I'll be like, there's like 20 people in this community now. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Well, I for one joined Farcaster just in hopes that I would get airdrops
Exactly.
somehow, and
I
it
think
didn't it
everyone did.
didn't
Yeah.
pan out. And
Everyone did.
so the incentives, right? Classic case of the incentives drying up. So on my list, I had two things. Well, DeSci, obviously, that was a small flash. It appeared and disappeared in about a week. But a bigger one, I think, was Tap to Earn. So that was pretty big. We talked about it on the pod a couple of times with earlier, like around the summer. And I remember, David, you telling an anecdote from being on a bus in Kyoto about like people
IBS.
using actually playing Hamster Combat or some game like that.
Five Zoomers talking about it for 40 minutes as we were stuck in Kyoto traffic. It was
and for a while there, it seemed like Tap to Earn, that was going to be like a big thing for the consumer to enter into crypto. But same story. Turns out everyone was just in it for the airdrops, and as soon as they dried up, so did that meta. Tap to Earn is dead.
It'll join what is it, Play to Earn. So yeah.
All right, biggest flop. Who's first? I forgot.
I think it's my turn. Corbin was last, so now my turn.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I would say for me the biggest flop of the year were the kind of high profile airdrops that happened before Hyperliquid. It seemed inexplicable, that these just giant, very, very good projects run by great teams would have their airdrops, and then it would just be like down only. So you have Starknet, which came out all-time high to now, it's at minus 83%. There was an airdrop in June. From there, it's down 67%. Oof. ZK Sync, again, I mean, these are tier one projects, right? Darlings. Minus 20% from kind of like a very generous local top. There was a wick, and it's down minus 40% from that. Layer 0, again, amazing tech, used everywhere. This one's a little better, depending on how you look at it. From a local peak, it's actually up 55%. From the wick, it's down minus 25%. So, but even still, if you imagine how much this is used, how much all of these are used, and how poorly people have done who've held the coin or bought it, God forbid, bought it, huge flops. And so it also, it looked really bad before Hyperliquid, I think, kind of figured out how to do an airdrop properly. So yeah, big flops.
Yeah. All right, my turn. So actually, I'm just realizing that my choice here for biggest flop is quite similar to the flash in the pan. I may have misinterpreted this category, but I'm going to say celeb coins. So there was a moment there where they were kind of touted as being like, okay, like retail's back, celeb coins are going to be a big thing. You had a lot of hype about Mother, the coin launched by Iggy Azalea. And people were saying like, she's serious, she's got a good team, but it's pretty much been down only, despite a few little pumps there. And then other celeb coins have had even less staying power. So celeb coins, pretty big flop. Corbin, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of going through my wallet looking for crap. I got a lot. Like, there's been a lot. And there's been a lot of garbage. Flops. Let's look for what's a good one. I mean, there's just You know what? Why don't we take a shot at Tau? Tau was a thing, right? What happened to that?
Yeah.
Everyone was saying this was the
Damn.
future. I haven't heard
Got
anything
replaced by
in a
AI
while. What's the
KOLs.
price even doing? I gotta check my Tau bags here, guys.
Yeah.
But I recall that
Tau
being
was
a thing.
shilled to me relentlessly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all
by
over
high profile.
Twitter, and
Yeah.
people were saying this BitTensor thing was going to be the future of crypto, and this is where everything's heading. And I mean, last 3 months, it's pretty chill. Not really doing much. I mean, I guess it's still up over the year, but over 3 months, it's not. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like, I think this year's been kind of interesting because part of it was somewhat bearish, and then part of it was quite bullish. And yeah, there was a lot of things I think early in the cycle that people were saying, "Oh yeah, this is going to be the alt that rips," and now it's like kind of forgotten. Now, I suppose there is a chance that some of these could be sort of waiting to make any major announcement until like an alt market is in total banana zone, but like there's also a chance it's just over, right? Like some of these things are just kind of like struggling to keep up with, I don't know, the changing vibes of bull and attracting sentiment, and that's kind of natural. I mean, there's always going to be winners and some losers, but that's not to say that losers can't become winners too. There's always like, comeback kids. That happens. That's a thing. I like a comeback. I like a good Britney Spears story,
Yeah, we've got a comeback category coming up here soon, but first let's go to best pivot, and I think it's my turn to lead this one off. So I'm going to go with the Republican Party pivoting to their pro-Bitcoin and pro-crypto stance. So this is something that I don't think it was obvious, and it materialized sort of midway through the year in the run-up to the election. And without a doubt, it contributed to Trump winning the election. And it was a really smart political play. And also, I think it's going to be good for our bags, obviously. So, best pivot, Republican Party.
And good for America. I'm going to add that.
Yeah. All right. David?
I think Corbyn's next, right?
Oh,
I'll go
Corbyn.
last.
Corbyn.
I got best pivot as Phantom to Sonic. I thought they're making plays, and I like the fact that it just seems like the timing of it is impeccable. The narrative is good. They're kind of saying, hey, we're creating this super fast EVM that's going to compete with Solana. They're bull posting. They're bringing back on Andre Cronje. We'll see what kind of interesting protocols they cook up over there.
Is that how you say his name?
I don't know. I think so. Andre Cronje? Cronje?
Because I just say Cronje.
Cronje? Mr. Cronje. I think it's Cronje, but I could be totally wrong.
I'm an idiot for names.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like there's a vibe there. And I think, yeah, it's a comeback story. And I think it's like a potential pivot where, the Phantom brand and the Phantom narrative, I think, was a bit cooked post. Was it multi-chain hack? I think that was the main one. Lost a lot of TVL, lost a lot of sentiment. Vibes were kind of in the tanks, and then their version of Vitalik, who is this Andre Cronje character, kind of like said, "It's the bear market. I'm going into early retirement," and now he's back out of retirement, helping launch Sonic, launching some stuff. It's a vibe. So I think there's a potential comeback story there.
Nice. All right, I've got two. One is an absolute like picture perfect pivot, and that's Ryan Selkis. Do you guys know Ryan Selkis, the former CEO of Messari?
Two-bit idiot on Twitter.
Yeah. And he's the founder and CEO of Messari Crypto. Messari, which is like maybe the gold standard for data analytics in crypto, and he went full political Republican Party schizo poster, real life speaker, and I think he's stepped away. He stepped away from Messari now. He's He's fully embraced this kind of like,
Too toxic for the Masari brand.
well, not just that, but I think he's like really kind of like acting as a go-between now before for politics and the
Yeah,
cryptos,
he's like
right?
fully in Washington.
Yeah. Like representing, doing the kind of policy stuff for crypto. But the guy, it was an epic pivot because it happened over like a year or two, right? And really picked up this year. And it's just hilarious to go from like a pretty straight-laced, nerdling, and then starts just saying some of the craziest schizo stuff. And he's fully doxxed, so it's not like one of these. It's not one of these anonymous schizo posters. And
Yeah, I
so,
think that's. I think there's some people that get really turned off by him, but I friggin' love him. I think he is just an
I do
entertaining
too.
character.
I
I
think
bet you
he's.
he'd be such a fun hang to just like listen to rant. Um, yeah, I mean he's like incredibly immovable in his beliefs and his dedication to crypto. And I think he's got this like you know, don't give an inch, don't give an inch on anything.
Yeah.
We're the future here, and you kind of need a bit of that energy because I think there is this. I don't know. I think crypto sometimes has a habit of just becoming somewhat like they approach everything with like this apologetic tone, and he's kind of taking the opposite of like, no, it's already clear we won. We've already won, and if you don't believe that, you're an idiot. Get out of my way. And I kind of like his schizo posting. I like his rage, and I
Oh,
think we
I
kind of
love
need
it.
more rage. Yeah, it's
I
good.
love it, and also it was so gutsy. Like, if you haven't listened to this, Corbin, he did a podcast with Empire. So that was the first time I actually got to hear him speak and not just like read what he's written. And it was refreshing to hear him speak and talk about these kinds of things and what he's kind of gone through and stuff. But man, some of the stuff that he's put out this past year has been so funny to me because of the amount of rage he gets back. Who don't people don't realize that he's kind of joking, kind of trolling, but not exactly. But not. I mean, it's the funniest stuff. So yeah, that was a true pivot and also a ballsy pivot because he left his this very lucrative company and great position behind to do just what he's doing now. And then the other thing I think is kind of, I don't know if this is a pivot exactly, but Base kind of becoming the place for AI agents, right? Like Solana is the place for meme coins. It does feel like Base has really kind of cemented itself in some ways, I guess, as the premier place for AI agents. We'll see how long that lasts, but I think it's kind of added an identity to Base a little bit, which was before just kind of a corporate, oh, this is the chain for Coinbase's customers. So
Yeah,
that's what
I
I got.
wonder how much Base supported that.
They did completely. One of the
Interesting.
what was it? Virtuals. Some of the infrastructure that
Virtuals.
Virtuals use, yeah, was created or helped created by someone at Coinbase, I believe.
So they have like an incubator program or something. Anyway,
Something
they
like that. Yeah.
consciously did that. I think
Yeah.
that's definitely a good
Yeah.
pivot. All right. Your personal best trade. I think Corbin, you're up. Best trade of the year.
Best trade of the year, probably GOAT. Yeah, kind of ashamed to say that. I think from a pure percentage perspective, that was like best trade.
Nice.
I think from like just I guess dollars and cents, probably Bitcoin. I think I was just dollar cost averaging into it and some other blue chips. Man, like this cycle, I've been kind of boring. Like GOAT was kind of me. You guys might remember I gave up on meme coins. I lost everything.
I remember that. Yeah, it was
In the early
months. It
meme
was like
coins, I was like, I'm done. I don't touch
the
these
first
things
6 months of
anymore.
the
They're
year.
toxic
Yeah.
waste. And then I got sucked back in, and then I did okay on GOAT, and I was like, okay, maybe these things aren't toxic waste. Maybe this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny how your opinions change suddenly when you kind of like make a little bit of money, and then you're like, okay, maybe these things are cool. So yeah, I'd say like probably GOAT, but also just Bitcoin. That's kind of like a mid take, but that was That was good for me.
David?
Uh, Whiff. I did really, really well on Whiff. I got it
Nice.
very early. And then virtual on base and AI XBT. I got really early on AI XBT. So I have done and continue to do well on those. And I think just to shield my bags a little bit, but I do think we're at the start of that still. The AI agent stuff. So I'm gonna bag hold those.
Virtuals was mine as well, and the reason, you never put enough in. It's never enough, but I feel good about this trade because I consciously, when I bought it, I thought this is a picks and shovel play for the AI agent space, which is going to grow, and so I just feel like smart. Oh, like I made it. I actually like had a thesis and invested on it, so I feel good about
that. In trading in TradFi, they call it being right for the right reasons. And that's what you want to aim for. So well done, sir.
Second one, Retardio. In that case, what I like about what I did there is I actually got out, I think, at a good time because I felt like the world was becoming less retardio after Trump won, and so that was a good time to sell, and that seems to have been actually the right choice. Okay, personal worst trade. David, you're first.
Yeah, Whiff. So,
best and worst.
Oh yeah, because I made really good money, but then I think it 20x after that or something
that hurts.
Pulling out my hair. So I got like a 7 or 8x or whatever it was, and then it went up just a bajillion %. And it was really, really painful to see that. And if I had just held it a little longer, my multiples would have been much, 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 much better. No, I think it was more than that. I think it was like 40x after that or something like that. So anyway, that was crazy to see.
Those ones hurt.
Yeah, and then of course the other one would be Ethereum, right? Fucking bag holding that all year as Sol went up. So those would be my two most painful ones.
One of my most painful was trading a good chunk of my ETH for Sol at the bottom of the ETH Sol chart. So that one hurts. And I also had on my list Whiff, which I incredibly lost money on.
Oh no!
Probably the only person to ever buy Whiff and lose money on it. And then a few other meme coins as well, like Ribbit. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but I was so early to Ribbit, and then I lost conviction, and it probably 100x'd after that. That really hurts. Corbin?
Man, I bought a lot of dumb stuff in like the early. Do you remember when meme coins were on Ethereum and that was like a thing? So like I remember, I think I bought some Ben token, didn't do good. Do you guys remember Ben token? I think it was like, and then I think Ben Armstrong came out and supported it, and then there was like this, dude, it was this really weird meta of like a Ben token that was launched by this guy named Ben, and then I guess Ben Armstrong was like, that's the Ben token, and then that, for some reason, I bought some of that. It didn't do well. I think one of them sold, or I can't remember. It was a whole thing. That one wasn't good. Actually, I think the other one I'm going to put in as worst trade was actually ETH. You know, I think the lost opportunity of me putting in more into ETH probably costed me a lot. You know, potential gains I could have put into GOAT or something, Bitcoin or Whiff or there's a chance I would have just lost it all. You know, so I can't cry about it. You know, at least ETH is kind of like a boring stablecoin now, so I guess that's fun.
Okay. Best comeback story. So this is probably, I'll go first. A little obvious. Solana came back from the brink of destruction. I don't know, like the start of the year, Solana was like $20 or something. Has dominated crypto in 2024. Obviously, the meme coin frenzy. I believe Phantom Wallet, which is like one of the main Solana wallets, was actually #1 on the App Store for a few weeks. Huge comeback story from Solana, from nothing to darling. Corbin.
Yeah, I had I had Avalanche on here as one, just because I think it hit pretty, for a brief period it was pretty bleak. Like, I think there was a lot of uncertainty around L1s and EVMs, and then I think with that video game that came out, I'm drawing a blank still on what that thing is. But I think that kind of like kickstarted a little bit of like, oh no, Avalanche is still a thing, and they actually have a community, and their subnets are a thing, and they're actually doing some stuff. So I would say that on one hand, it's like, yeah, like that's probably one that I'd say is worth mentioning. I had Sonic on here as well, but that's kind of like the same as like a pivot, in my opinion. Kind of the same idea, is just that, yeah, the Phantom with an F, not the wallet with the PH. Them moving and relaunching as Sonic and putting it like a high throughput EVM, and trying to take a shot at some of the faster Sui chains and Solana chains and all the newer things. I think it's good. Like, to me, EVM is still like the USB 2.0 kind of thing. It's never going away. So if you can just optimize the ever loving crap out of it and do it in a way that's secure and decentralized, great. Sub hundredths of a penny transaction, and then hundredths of a second finality, that's good. I like that. I think also having that stuff can enable like dApps that address some of the shortcomings of EVM, such as like privacy and stuff like that. So I think if you can make things great on the base layer, then you can use the dApp layer to kind of fill in some of the missing pieces. And who knows, maybe this will also just kind of like bring about a bit of a resurgence of interest into EVM builders, and maybe there's other things they can optimize and improve on the EVM stack. I don't think it's completely dead in the same way that like USB 2.0 is not seeing any upgrades. I think this thing could still see some upgrades. You can still breathe some life into EVM. You just need, I think, both the financial incentive and community support and gigabrain builders to just, focus on that.
Yeah, I had Suzu and Ox.fun. Suzu with a question mark, like is it a comeback? But he's obviously, out of jail and he doesn't owe a lot of people money, I guess. So he's around. And Corbin, you got a picture with him in Taipei, didn't you?
I did, yeah, dude. I spoke with Suzu for like 30
Oh, man.
minutes, and he's like
Holy crap, that's awesome.
yeah, no, he's a really smart, chill guy. I mean, I think there's like a lot of Twitter X hate towards him. I mean, he might have supported some of the questionable parts of like the last cycle, but on the other hand, the super cycle, he was just a bit early.
Yeah.
Maybe we're in it now, right? Like, I don't know. It does make me think there's a path where he could come back and be another star.
So he's
Big
around,
Suzu
and
fan
then
here.
and then
What
the
about
Ox.fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it got shut down, or part of it got shut down, and it relaunched as a DEX kind of thing. Like I don't know exactly, and it seems to be thriving. It's like pivoted ultra hard to meme coin listings, and really ultra fast meme coin listings. So
Yeah.
it seems to be doing
Can't
well.
you haven't they introduced something quite innovative there? I'm not sure, but it seems like you can deposit anything, or you can perpetually long any asset there. They've set up some structure for that.
Yeah. So yeah, anything that they've listed, I believe. So like if they list a perp, for example, Fartcoin as a perp, you can deposit Fartcoin and use that as collateral to long on the Fartcoin perp. So basically, it's just adding another layer of leverage, right? So it's just leverage on leverage.
Innovative.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's good. So we've got 3 more topics left here, and David, you're up, I believe, for the next topic. Which, oh wait, I didn't say my best. Oh no, I did. All right, most cringe moment in crypto. Corbin, this is you, I believe.
Oh, Corbin, go ahead.
Corbin's first. Yeah, you're first. Most cringe moment in 2024.
I didn't actually fill this one out, guys. This is
all right. You think about it, David.
Homework.
You go first.
You guys jump in.
Dude, I have so many, and I want. Graham,
I got a couple.
Could you play that? I just put that in the chat. So for me, the number one online cringe thing was this Solana Summer Society. I put this in the Riverside chat. Yeah. The Solana Summer Society was this like, I don't freaking know, this like 10 ladies in a villa.
I remember this one.
What is it like? Like daytime TV, whatever the heck it is.
It was like the view of Solana, but like influencers.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be like what do they call this kind of TV? I'm still out of the loop. Like reality TV, right? It's supposed to be reality TV, right? And it just looked just ultra cringe to me. I mean, just the epitome of cringe. So if Graham, you could play just a little bit of the.
I'm bringing it.
If you could play a little bit of the trailer, I think you just instantly just kind of want to turn it off. You're like,
this is what a reality TV show gets you at the Solana Villa. Speed tour. This is the living room. This is the kitchen. This is the pool. It's liquid and it has balls.
All right. Gotcha. So, I don't know. I thought this was like pretty cringe. And then not to focus more on Solana, but then there was remember when Vitalik had his singing thing at what was it?
Oh, right.
Token 2049. But then like, so all these Solana people were like, this is stupid. This is an example of Ethereum sucking. And then like a day later, there was Solana Breakpoint in Singapore, and you had those guys rapping on stage.
Hold on. Is that the one where the guy showed his abs and he's like, yeah, guys? It's like, dude, you're showing that to a bunch of pros.
I can put you in the chat.
Oh, that's right.
Here. There's that. It's also just ultra cringe. Just like, this is a crypto conference, and these guys, these dudes are like rapping on stage about crypto, about Solana. This is just absolute, just really, really trash tier.
Okay, I got one, guys. Marketing. I got one. You can pull this up. Okay, so this was at one of the Bitcoin conferences.
Just a second, Corbin, because we just have to play the rappers for here. Sorry.
Okay, do the rapping. Do the rapping for sure.
Yeah. Here we go.
Make some noise. La da la da, la da la da la da. I see you, boy.
I see you, boy.
Let's get it. Woo. Make some noise.
What?
Okay, so I think that's actually the second time we've played that clip on this podcast.
Yeah, I recall we played this on one podcast.
That is just too much. It's too much, man.
All right, what do you got, Corbin?
Okay, so this one was from a Bitcoin conference earlier in the year. The tweet was from Real Jonah Blake. It said, "This is Gen Z Scientology," and I believe it was. You guys might remember there was these Bitcoin wizards, the Taproot wizards. So there was like NFT, right? NFTs came to Bitcoin, and then all of the Bitcoin people were suddenly like, because like previously they hated NFTs. They said that's a waste of block space and block height and whatever. We don't need those things on our chain. Then Taproot actually allowed people to do that, and then suddenly people got hyped about it. And then the one of the first NFTs were these like NFT wizards. You might remember the old Bitcoin meme of like the wizard being like, it's cash or it's money or whatever it is. It's the internet money or whatever. And they turned this into a meme. And then these guys, I guess, I mean, you just play the clip. There's dudes in a pool in wizard
Where's the
outfits
clip?
splashing each other. It's weird.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
And there's just like they're showering as well for some reason, which is like you'll see them showering in the pool. It's a vibe.
This is refreshing. Okay, let's go.
Okay, yeah. What I'm seeing is 4 nerds at what looks to be quite a swanky club. Yeah.
You know, it's cringe, but it actually kind of makes me. It looks a little fun. You know, to be brutally honest, I'd probably be cool splashing around with these guys too. They seem like they're having a fun time. So I can't give them too much beef.
I don't know, man. Sitting around in a dark room looking at 4 dudes in a
I don't know, man. I'm just so married at this point that I'm just like that seems like a fun night to me, guys. You know, splashing your pals in wizard outfits, doing a little cosplay, letting people watch you, showering your buddy. That's cool, man.
Is that a euphemism for something, Corbin?
I don't know.
We got another one here that I brought up. It's the whiff rave.
Oh my god, this is a great one, yeah. That guy, oh man.
Okay, so yeah, this was when Whiff really just exploded, and there were a lot of Whiff millionaires, and they went to a rave, and
that was around the time when Ape did a concert that blinded half of the people. Do you remember that? Was it the Ape?
I do remember that.
There was like a board Ape cycle. Was that like? No, I think that was like in 2024. I'm pretty sure that was 2024, maybe late 2023.
That was this year.
ApeCoin visitors go to an ApeCoin NFT concert DJ thing in like, I don't know if it was Hong Kong or it might have been like, it was somewhere in China, I think. And they used some pretty hardcore lasers that, I don't know if it was the lasers or the smoke, but a lot of people were hospitalized. And yeah.
It was the cringe. Too much cringe.
Yeah. All right. I've got one more cringe moment, which it's a bit different. So I actually thought that the announcement of World Liberty Financial and the whole token sale around it, I felt that to be quite cringe. Like, I was worried when that announcement was made that it would ruin Trump's chances. I thought it would get more attention and criticism, and that it would actually like prevent Trump from winning the White House, because it just seemed like such a blatant money grab. Now, I will caveat that actually because David, you spoke with Eric Trump a few weeks ago, and he did actually seem really thoughtful about it. So I would retract some of that, but the whole thing just felt really cringe to me.
Yeah, the optics were not great. That's for sure. Yeah. I agree.
All right. Best meme of the year. Who's first? Is it me?
I went first last time, but I was out of order.
I think it's me. I'll go first. So I got picked up a couple here, which all right, sorry. Just give me 1 second. Bear with me here. Oh, what happened? I'm sorry. If someone else can go first, someone else can go if they want. I'm just trying to bring this up.
All right, I'll go because I don't want anyone to steal it, because I think this is my favorite meme template, and this was my favorite meme of the year. And I think, just to preface this, is like the best meme of the year was Ethereum hating memes, because it was like
Yep.
you gotta hit someone when they're down, and so it's just like it was the funniest to make these memes and like make ETH maxis and ETH holders upset. So I just thought it was really darn funny. Here we go. So I'm gonna share my screen. This one.
Yeah.
This is I love I love this. I love this meme.
Can you describe it?
It's the what's this? The Wojak cuck meme, I guess you would call it that. That's the template. So a guy in the corner, that's your Wojak. He's got a tag that says ETH holder, and he's sitting in a chair, like the hotel cuck chair. And then you have a chair next to the bed, and then his girlfriend, I guess, or wife, is saying, "Are you sure?" And she's got her hands on the face of another man. That's Solana. So that's
It's
really, really, really good.
I really enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, and then I guess I'll wait to. Well, no. Let me just throw out this other one, which is I love this this kind of stuff. Um, it's the Spider-Man. What's his name? Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. And he's like the lady saying, why Bitcoin almost 100K, but you're still broke? Please tell me the truth. And he says, I'm an ETH holder, and she's like crying. It's just hits me in the feels because that's me.
Yeah, a lot of good ETH hating memes in the year. All right, I can bring mine up now, I think. Figure out how this tech works. All right, so these ones are related to just the financial nihilism. And so this one is crypto then, and it's like a brain Wojak, and he said, we solved the Byzantine general's problem and created a decentralized global currency. And then crypto now, it's the slurf. Is it slurf? They're like the guy with the collapsed brain, and he's just like drooling. And he says he's putting a square peg into a round hole, and he's saying, coin has dog. So it to me, this representative of sort of the how far we've fallen in the crypto space, some aspects of the crypto space. And this is basically the same meme. It's the legend where the daughter's sitting on the father's lap, and she says, Daddy, did crypto bank the unbanked? And then the father in his suit, he says, no, we just turned a frog into a shitcoin. And then the boy on the floor says, fucking degens. I don't know. All right.
So I think the only meme, I'd say the best meme that I've got is just it's MicroStrategy. I think they've memed Bitcoin, and Michael Saylor has memed Bitcoin in a way that's never been done before. And it's gotten TradFi, boomer, normie finance bros kind of like, licking their lips, wanting in on some of this. And it was done in a untraditional meme format, I would say, which is primarily getting this boomer looking TradFi guy in front of a camera and just bull posting relentlessly. And like memes are typically succinct. He's far from succinct, but he hits all the right points where you can't help but be like, might be something to this, And whether you're looking at it from like a Ponzi-nomics standpoint, or from like a revolutionary standpoint, or from like the, I don't know, Trump or like government hedge, treasury hedge perspective, it's like all of these things have kind of like, it seems like they've kind of been pulled out of the ass of Michael Saylor. So if it weren't for him doing the meme of Michael Saylor bull posting, I don't know if we would have, the Trump administration taking bets on being like, we're going to be the Bitcoin crypto president. That's our thing. That's our meme now. One led to the other, and I think it's kind of been like probably for the betterment of all of crypto, because I think it kind of helped lift everything up, in the way that Bitcoin does. When Bitcoin does good, everything else typically rises with it. So I think in that sense, that's probably like been a pretty good meme. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I actually had Michael Saylor on my short list for biggest winner of the year. His financial engineering has been, bar none, spectacular.
And we're in a
Not that I really
blackout
understand it.
period too. We're in a blackout
Yeah,
period too, so he can't really buy right now. So
mm,
we gotta wait. We
maybe
gotta
don't.
wait for it to
Maybe
come
don't
back online.
10x long the corn this week. All right. Last topic for today's show is the funniest timeline award. So the biggest proof that we live in a simulation. And I'm going to go first for this. And it's that there's a new government agency called Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. It represents to me, yeah, that what is this? What kind of world is that? Like, everyone's saying Doge. There's a department of the U.S. department now called Doge. Yeah. All right. Does anyone else have a good one for this?
Mine was actually like just Trump in general. I think that is a pretty weird one. I mean, when you think about like who this guy is, and you know, where the whole backstory for Trump being this business mogul, real estate developer, golf aficionado. He wants to, you know, like there's the video of Obama being like, "That guy's never going to be president," and then you know you kind of you see him seething in the corner, like, I'm gonna get you. And suddenly he's the president, and then he's not the president, and we go into this weird world of like COVID lockdowns and Biden senile chaos, and then you go back. Trump's getting shot at. It's total pandemonium. Like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. The right is we need to fix this country, and then he gets back in, and now he's like the Trump crypto president, and he's got NFTs, and he's got and his family's taking positions in DeFi and like building DeFi protocols now, and saying they're just going to start holding Bitcoin on the treasury. All of that, so much of that just is wrapped up in this, like, what just happened? Like, if you were to time travel back to 1995 and explain that storyline, people would say that sounds like a pretty far-fetched story, unlikely to happen,
sure.
kind of made up. But it's like, yeah, truth is stranger than fiction, sort of thing.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had it wasn't funny, but the only thing I could really think of on the spot was the Trump assassination, which is just kind of mind-boggling that it just should have happened, right? Like he just turns to look, and you know, it's just very bizarre, very crazy turn of events, kind of like those. What do they call it in history? Like events that are so random and can have such potentially large like influence on the outcome of history, you know?
Like the Barbara Streisand effect.
Kind of,
Or
but also like you know, you have that theory of is do you have people who are special in history, or at certain points are there like any, you know, the times make the man kind of thing, right? And then you know there's usually a mixture of both, and so to me that is like one of those points where it's just like it really would have been a different, at least I think it would have been a very different outcome if he had, you know, not turned, right? And
absolutely,
the course of history would probably look pretty different, I imagine. Maybe not,
yeah,
but yeah.
It does also start making me question this whole fate versus free will thing. I don't know. I think there's even just some like,
let's go there.
Yeah,
you know?
let's do it.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's just enough weird stuff that happened, I'd say, around that make you kind of be like, I don't know, man. Either divine intervention, either fate versus destiny, or fate and destiny versus free will, or I don't know, man. It does kind of give you some simulation vibes. You kind of can't help but look at it and say, like, I could have gone a lot different, and we'd be in a much different place. Like, culturally.
Really different
Oh man,
place. I think
potentially
seriously
civil
different,
war,
very
potentially
different.
like rage, potentially violence, potentially it could have been like a really bad thing. So then it does make me also like the tinfoil hat part of me is like, it's so good. Was it manufactured?
We're getting psyoped here somehow.
Nice.
But then it's like, well, who manufactured it? Did the powers that be manufacture it? Did God manufacture it? Like who? Like, do you know what I
what's
mean?
the long game?
I don't know.
What's the end game?
I'm too dumb to make a guess on this thing, but it does put all of that into question.
Yep. All right. Existential questions. I think that's a good place to end the pod. Thank you, gentlemen, for doing your homework pod. And next week we'll be back with our first episode of 2025, where we're going to be giving our predictions for the crypto markets in the coming year. So
I cannot wait to be back in Japan. I just can't wait. I'll be back.
Yep.
What are you most looking forward to getting back into Japan, and what are you most looking forward to never experiencing again in the United States?
I mean, I have to come back to the U.S. Soon, but it was actually, the one thing I'll say is, one positive thing I'll say is that there are still like an incredible amount of obese people here, but for the first time in like 5 or 6 years, where every year it's gotten worse. Every year I'm like, there can't possibly be more and fatter people, and every year it's like, God, dear. This year was the first time in as long as I can remember where I was like, oh, it's about the same as it was last time. And I kept thinking, like, have we kind of like bottomed out on our fatness? Maybe it was Ozempic, maybe I don't know what it is.
The fatties are dying.
It could be, but I don't know. I have some hope now from that. But yeah, there's a lot of fat people everywhere. Everything's fat, and so I could do with less of that.
We're having a comment here from our producer, who's citing some stats saying that fatness is actually slightly down in the U.S. So,
Boom.
Astute observation, David.
Nice. You know how I made this observation? I was at an airport waiting for a connecting flight, and I saw a morbidly obese person spilling out of her seat, and I was like, "Oh God, Jesus!" And then I realized, like, oh, that it's only been like 3 hours. I've been in America for 3 hours, and this is the first time I've had that kind of just nauseating reaction. That's a long time. Usually it happens instantly. So that's how I came to that conclusion. So it wasn't like, they weren't everywhere, but yeah, 3 hours. That's usually it's instantly. And then yeah, looking forward to Japan. It's just safer. I feel safer, right? There's a lot of like, dude, you're just driving on the highway, and you see cracked out people walking across or walking down the middle of the lane on the highway. What?
Just
Where
going
did they
for
come
a
from?
stroll, just a little
Where
walk,
did they come
getting
from?
in the steps.
Where? And then my mom and my parents are like, yeah, there's a lot more ladies on the highway these days. I'm like, oh Jesus, oh no, just
Wow.
My kids are in the car and they're like, what's happening? I'm like, don't worry about it. It's okay. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, safety. Love the safety of Japan.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll see you soon. Safe travels, and
Happy New Year's, guys.
We'll see you next
year.
Happy
New Year.
We'll see you guys next year
for our first episode. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Adios.
See you guys.
Good podcast.